When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. That's what this storm's about. I know the title of the video says this is a review for Murakami's Kafka on the Shore, but in reality, what I'm gonna get into is why I love this book so much, and take this video as more of an encouragement to finally pick this one up. And if you have not been able to read any of the Murakami's before, I would highly suggest you start with this one. And I'll get into a personal note now, which is kind of a trigger warning about what this book means to me. So if you want to just skip to the part where I talk about the book, you can do that. But I owe it to this one to explain why this book has been my favorite and reasons around why I will never forget the time when I read this book. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Finally, I have a mic. I hope that the audio is a little bit better than previous videos. And this video has been long requested, a review of Kafka on the Shore by Murakami. But before getting into the video, as I said, I want to explain why this book means so much to me. At the time when I picked this one up, it was only 20 days after I lost my dad. I flew from London to India back home, and because it was a time around COVID, I was put into quarantine. When that happened, I was cooped up in a little room, very secluded from my family, and outside there was a world of chaos, and everyone was trying to protect me from the virus and the pain and the grief, and I did not know what to make of those days. I just had this book around me in that little room, and I remember for the next 7 days I read this book end to end, and in the end I cried my eyes out. One of the quote in the book says, "If only you remember, then I don't care if everyone else forgets." And those lines always stay with me because I would like to believe that whatever the memories that I have with my dad and whatever the memories that live with me are always going to live with me. And that's the message that I took from the book. Is about a lot of things, but that is why it is very personal to me, and that's why I will always have my heart set on it. With that being said, let's get into the video and let me explain a bit more what I want to talk about this book today. Hi guys, this is Pooja at A Book by the Window. I do book related videos here. I also have a main channel where I talk about different things, growth, about my life. If you want to check that out, it's going to be in the description box below. But if you're only here for books, reviews, book challenges, consider subscribing to the channel. I do these videos ever so often, and if you have any feedback, leave them in the comment section below. And let's get into the video. Let's talk about the plot of the book first. The story is intertwined between two characters, Kafka, Tamura, and Nakata. Kafka is a 15-year-old runaway boy who decides to escape his father's dark prophecy by running away from it. He names himself Kafka, inspired by his favorite author. He takes a bag with himself, puts his earphones in, and just starts walking to the next train station that he could find. And in that attempt, he's trying to find his identity, trying to live his life all over again. But he finds himself thinking about his late mother, and would he ever be able to escape his destiny is what we are going to find later on. Parallel to Kafka is Nakata's story, who is an elderly man. He lost his ability to read and write because of an incident that happened in the World War. But for some weird reason, he develops a knack of being able to talk to cats. In his attempt to find a cat, he crosses path with Kafka, and then we'll see how the stories of both the characters intertwine. They converge, but they also diverge into different directions, and it is a mush of a lot of threads, a lot of magical realism, and it's interesting to see how two different characters who go through pain and suffering for different reasonings cross path, and we are able to see how their stories are not very different from each other, but we'll have to wait till the end to find out what happens. Now, right in the beginning, Murakami's narrative takes us through a series of surreal and supernatural events, blending reality into dreamlike elements. It explores themes of fate, memory, and subconscious creating a mess of stories that keep you guessing till the end. But the story itself is worth enjoying as you go on this whirlwind journey. Talking about the writing of the book, this is as Murakamish a book as it can get. It has elements of magical realism, but it is very peculiar to Murakami's writing style. It has a blend of melancholy. It also has some references of Japanese culture around the time, music, books, which I find like really peculiar and interesting about Murakami's work. And special to this book, the writing, the prose is very lyrical and it seamlessly takes you through dreams and reality, which I haven't seen a lot of authors do this seamlessly. The prose is hypnotic and lyrical. The writing is infused with a deep sense of melancholy and wonder. It captures the human emotion very well, in the sense that you see the intricacies of the human mind, but you also are able to see the emotional beings that we all are, in search of love, in the curiosity of where we come from. It is very well depicted in the writing, which, as I said, I haven't seen a lot of authors doing that. The dialogues are very sharp, often filled with philosophical insights and thought-provoking narrative, which is sure to leave you thinking about what is being said long after you're done reading it. I also like Murakami's description of the setting and atmosphere, which are very vivid. We are able to see the natural beauty of Japan through these words, the rivers, the mountains, and the mysterious forest that Kafka finds himself in. I was very interested in reading that. So, as I said, Murakami is a great writer. There's no doubt about it. He paints a picture through his word, both on the psychological level, and you're also able to place yourself in that situation and look at it as if you are standing there as a third person, just witnessing the story unfold. I'm going to talk about the highlight of the book now. Now, I've already said that for personal reasons, this is a very good book for me. This is very personal to me, one of the best loved books that I keep with myself. But beyond that, beyond the personal reasons, why I think this book is a masterpiece, one of the major highlight of the book that comes to my mind is its sheer unpredictability and its power to keep you on the hook, but in a different way, not in a way like thriller or a suspense novel would, but in a way where you are pulled into the labyrinth of your own mind with thoughts, with a story, and it does put you in a moral dilemma. What would you do if you are in that situation? Like, there's a mention of complex, which I didn't know before I read this book. When you go about reading about it, it is something that is a prophecy, which is very weird in today's society. But when you see the story unfolds like it does, it leaves a mark on you. And I will be honest with you, it's a bit weird. It is a bit unconventional, if I would like to put it, for the lack of a better word, but it is what it is, and it makes the crux of the book. I was very surprised to know about it. I like to think of myself as a person who want to do the best in any situation that I come across, but with thinking like this, it makes you think, what would you do? So that is one highlight of the book. Another highlight of the book is, although the story is very complex and convoluted, both the characters are very well developed. You see each chapter being dedicated to their stories, and their story slowly unfolds in a very dramatic manner. It also unfolds in a way where you feel sad for them. But having said that, how their paths intersect and how they come face to face with each other is very thought-provoking and very interesting to see. The novel explores themes of fate and self-discovery, and it does it in a very good manner, I would like to say, because it makes you think about your own path in life. Then there's also elements of magical realism in the form of fish raining from the sky, or someone being able to talk to a cat, someone being able to go back in a dream and meet a person. All of these things in real world you would feel weird, but in the context of the story, they just come together like they were meant to be there. And I found it very surprising. It's one of the unconventional stories that I always encourage people to read because it makes you think, and it's also very different from normal writing. I've found that Japanese literature is somewhat very leaning towards magical realism. in some way it explored themes of memories, grief, and the question of life a lot. And I do like Japanese literature more so because of that. If I were to talk about any low light of the book, I would say that for some readers, the ambiguity and open-endedness that Murakami leaves the reader with is what some readers don't desire. Some readers like a structure, they like having a happy ending or just a sad ending, some kind of closure to stories. This book has closures, but it's not for everyone. Another thing that I would like to recommend is Murakami is not for teenagers or kids. I don't know why people give it to their kids, because it has a very strong underline of sexual energy, which is not wrong if you are an adult. It's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong in reading about different things in the world, but it is so weird. I don't know how to explain it. When once you read a few of Murakami's book, you would understand. And that's something that I don't like about his writing, and I couldn't place a finger on why does he do that in all of his books. So definitely a low light for me, and this book also has some weird elements of that sexual energy. Also, I really like the intertwining narratives, but for some readers it can get confusing and then you lose interest or you feel overwhelmed. So not for the weak-hearted, I would like to say, and not for everyone. Now, to sum it up, this is already a 5-star read for me for personal reasons, for the writing, for how much I like Murakami's books, and for its uniqueness. But I would also like to go into what is my final review and why. Kafka on the Shore takes you on a mesmerizing journey through human psyche filled with emotions, grief, memories, and elements that are beyond your human imagination. It also has Murakami's unique style of storytelling, complete with rich and evocative prose, trying to make you think. And it's a must read for people who likes reading unconventional literary fiction filled with element of surreal. Despite its occasional ambiguity, the novel's depth and its emotional resonance of its character make it a standout work in the world of contemporary literature. I highly recommend it if you find the time, and if you're already thinking about reading it, finally this is your sign to pick it up. And with that, we're at the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below if you like this video. If you have any other feedback for me, I really do appreciate it, more so because this channel is very new on the planet. And I will see you guys next time. I hope you guys are doing good. Bye bye.